So this is what I struggle most with.
My goal time.
What is going on, aliens? I'm Mike Rosa, and for those who don't know, I have my degree in nutrition from the University of New Hampshire. So I have a really in-depth background with nutrition, and I've even helped hundreds of clients make diet plans and follow macro splits to reach their specific goals, and I've had no complaints so far, so I must be doing something right. But it's a hell of a lot easier said than done, and the thing I struggle with most regarding fitness is my diet. Now here's a little story to help you understand my situation a little better. I have never strictly counted my macros before. Now I've done a ton of diets regarding my caloric intake, and I actually have no problem hitting my total calories, whether it's in a deficit, whether it's in a surplus, whether I'm at maintenance. I never struggle hitting my caloric goal. But every time I set my macro splits, I find it really hard to find an enjoyable eating routine that fits those macro splits while also fitting my caloric intake. And my story is, when I first tried to cut, I lost 20 pounds. I went from 180 pounds to 160 pounds. Now this was over 4 years ago, and it was right before I was competing in my first ever powerlifting meet. I just wanted to hit the 165 weight class, which is what RPS did. And I lost weight no problem because I was following my caloric deficit. Like I said, I never had a problem with that, even from the very beginning. But when I ended up analyzing my macros, my protein was really low. Now the problem when I lost all this weight was that I lost a lot of strength with it as well. And I lost this weight over a 15-week period. It was steady and controlled. I'm not blaming just the low protein. I know obviously I'll lose some strength when I cut that much weight, but I think I would have kept a lot more strength on if I was more tailored to my specific macro percentages. So if you're someone like me who doesn't know everything, but does know a solid amount and still struggles to hit their macro goals, then you're really gonna enjoy this process, because I'm gonna try to find a way to eat my foods to hit these macro splits while hitting my caloric goal and not make my foods taste like assholes. So that's really important, guys. You don't have to cut out your favorite foods or foods you like in order to get a cut. You just have to find out the best way to do it. Now it's time to give a little nutrition goal talk with Elu. Alright guys, time to tackle away at our nutrition goals for the duration of our processes. For me, my caloric intake is going to be 2,770 calories. That's in a deficit, 230 deficit to begin with. My maintenance is 3,000.
From like calculators that I've used before, it says my BMR should be about 2,800, my maintenance. I disagree with that. I think my metabolism is like a lot faster. I put it at about 3,000. I'm aiming for 3,200 calories a day to start off.
And macro splits, I'm going to be doing high protein, especially in the beginning. The body works harder to process protein than carbs and fats, and it'll help me preserve more lean muscle mass. So my splits is going to be 35% carbohydrates, 40% protein, 25% fat, and that comes out to 242 grams for carbs a day, 277 grams total for protein a day, and then 77 grams for fats a day.
I'm also trying to go high protein. I want my carbs to be pretty high too. My split is around 30% protein. My target is about 1.5 times my current body weight. I'm trying to get about 270 grams of protein a day, which is pretty challenging. Carbs are going to be also 270, so those are the 35%. For fats, I'm doing about 103 grams a day.
Now what's interesting about the way I'm doing my caloric intake is I'm not accounting for exercise expenditure, so it's going to put me in a natural further deficit. We'll see how that goes. I don't want to be in too much of a deficit, but I'm not going to account for that at this point in time. I plan to do caloric cycling, so my caloric intake is going to change per week.
Same, and yeah, our workouts have been so long and so intense. I think I might even need to have 3,400 calories a day potentially.
Gotta get them gains.
Yeah, it's gonna get huge.
So like I said in the beginning, guys, I've never strictly counted my macros before. That's gonna be a process I'm gonna really have to adapt to. I'm great at meeting my caloric intake per day, and that's what I'm gonna focus on in the beginning, but I'm really gonna adapt my diet so it fits those macros as precisely as possible, and that's just gonna help me get even more close to my fat loss goals.
I've done a cut before counting my macros perfectly, but I've never done like an actual clean bulk focusing on macros. I've only ever dirty bulked, as most people have. This time we're gonna keep it clean. We're gonna do everything right.
And lastly, I'm gonna make sure I drink at least a gallon of water a day. I'm gonna aim for 1 to 2 gallons every day.
Same. I'm back on the creatine grind too, so I'll be drinking definitely at least a gallon a day. I fill up my water bottle at least 4 times just at the gym.
Let's go show you guys the meals for the day. I've shown you guys this meal before, but this is still one of my favorite breakfasts. It's a real power breakfast. It is carb heavy, but it's a great way to start off the day. If you want a thicker meal, you can put less water, or if you want a little more liquidy, you can put more water in like I did today. I think it's easier to eat quickly when it's a little more liquidy, but I do think it tastes better when it's thicker. This meal, using the exact same serving amounts I did, is 490 calories. It is 22 grams of protein, 68 grams of carbs, and 18 grams of fat. And for those who are gonna shit on me for the Jif peanut butter, the non-natty peanut butter, I know it's not nearly as good for you as the really natural stuff. I guess I haven't mentally made that transfer over to the real natural brands. I love the Jif and the Skippy, and I know it's not nearly as good for you, but it tastes so freaking good. Maybe during this cut, you guys can convince me to go transfer over permanently to the natural peanut butters.
Alright guys, I just woke up and did my weigh-in. Now I'm going to walk you through a full day of eating on a bulk.
Breakfast is going to be 2 servings of just the Clusters vanilla almond granola cereal, 8 ounces of whole milk with a scoop of milk chocolate protein all mixed together. In total, this is going to be 25 grams of fats, 40 grams of proteins, and 80 grams of carbs.
And now I'll show you guys all the pills and supplements I take for the gym. I make sure to always take my pills right after breakfast so my stomach is coated with some food. I take 1 probiotic, 2 multivitamins, 2 fish oil, which is 20 calories and 2 grams of fat. And I also take 100 milligrams of sertraline, so 2 pills. This is anxiety medication, guys. It's not steroids, you can look it up. I do have pretty bad anxiety. This, and along with my CBD, really helps. I take this little pharmacy every morning. Bottoms up. Now for supplements, I'm trying some new stuff. I'm taking 2 scoops of the Beyond Raw Black Cherry BCAAs. 2 scoops is 1 serving. There's 25 calories total and 6 grams of carbs. For pre-workout, I'm trying the Beyond Raw Gummy Worm Lit. I take 1 scoop, 15 calories, and you literally can't see it, but 4 grams of carbs. And since strength is also a priority, I put 5 grams of creatine monohydrate in my pre-workout. I'll just mix this with water right before we go to the gym, and I'll just make the protein shake. I put 5 more grams of creatine monohydrate in my post-workout shake. Then I do 10 grams of glutamine, and a scoop of the GNC Sustained Protein Blend. Chocolate milkshake flavored. I do 1 scoop after my workout. It's 130 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 4 grams of carbs, and 25 grams of protein. And then I mix my protein shake up with unsweetened vanilla almond milk. I do 1 cup, which is 30 calories, 2.5 grams of fat, 1 gram of carbs, and 1 gram of protein. And since I make my post-workout shake before I work out, I always mix it up in a Yeti to make sure it stays cold. And no, I have no deal with GNC. Beyond Raw is the new GNC brand. I just heard they were actually really good products, so I wanted to try them out. They're pretty decent. Since it's 2 scoops, the amino flavor actually tastes pretty strong, so it's really good in my gallon. The pre-workout kind of tastes funny in my opinion, but it gives me a good energy boost, some tingles, and it actually really gives me a good pump. The protein's pretty good. I'd give it a 7 out of 10 for taste. The creatine and glutamine per serving amount are actually a really good deal price-wise.
Alright, for supplements, I'm just doing 5 grams of creatine a day. Pre-workout, I'm just doing Endo Rush right now. And, of course, cod liver oil.
Some of the major properties of cod liver oil that help a lifter out are its ability to reduce inflammation. It also helps fight infection and promotes the immune system. And it also has some good fats that help with the growth of like connective tissue and other cellular membranes that help your body out a ton. So cod liver oil, I think, is one of the most important things you can take every day. It also helps balance out your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. We consume tons and tons of omega-6s. That's kind of part of the problem with the American diet these days, and cod liver oil just helps balance that out.
Fueled up from breakfast, now let's go chase a pump. So we're starting off with bench press today, guys. We're doing 6 sets of 4 repetitions, and the tempo is gonna be 3-0-0, so 3 seconds on the descent, and no pause, and just exploding up. And I'm using 120 kg, which is gonna be 265 pounds. Now what I'm really working on for my bench press is the shoulder retraction, squeezing my shoulder blades together as hard as possible on the descent of the bar, and that's gonna help me maintain my tightness and be more explosive and a stronger mechanical advantage. Let's see what Alu's got to say.
So I don't have to do any of that tempo bullshit, so I actually get to beat Mike in weights. I'm doing 275 for a 6x4. Just pounding it out, explosive as possible.
Let's get it.
So I was on my final set, already really nervous about hitting 4 reps, 275. I was like, Mike, I don't know if you can film me, dude. You might have to spot me. He's like, no. Just know that if you don't get it, you're gonna die. So I'm going for it, about to hit my 4th one. As I'm going down, music's like absolutely climaxing, completely stops, and someone starts calling me some stupid spam number. So I'm at the bottom of my rep, spam phone numbers calling me. I'm just like, no. Fought it out, though, it's all good.
So when doing rows, you see a lot of people just doing this as an explosive movement, but for this exercise my coach programmed so it's a 3-0-3 tempo, so I'm really coming 3 seconds all the way to my chest, squeeze my lats as much as possible, and that's really helping me increase my mind-muscle connection. And then I do 3 seconds on the way back to the starting position, and really squeezing my lats the entire time, and on that eccentric I feel even more engagement in my lats. So I recommend trying your row variation with a tempo base because you really do feel an extra squeeze.
So Mike does his ab routine during his like hit Tabata, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to put on as many pounds as possible, so I'm just gonna go do some heavy weighted ab exercises and just try to build like bigger blockier abs.
Time for me to do my Tabata abs and cardio now. So I'll be doing lower abs with my cardio today. I'm using my app Exerprise. Remember guys, there's a free link in the description as well as the first pinned comment. You can generate thousands of workouts using my app. Make sure you get it. Probably the hardest training aspect when doing your cut is staying consistent with your cardio, but even more so pushing yourself when you do that cardio. My advice, do it at the end of every workout. Just make yourself do it, get it done with, and then after like 30 days, you can establish a habit. It normally takes 30 days to establish a habit, so build that consistency and then you can improve that quality over time. Whenever I finish my workouts, I always have my protein shake just right after. More for convenience. I think the anabolic window is a myth, and that may be controversial, but that's what I think. I just like having some protein right after my workouts. I'm always starving, so it's the easiest way to do it.
Bottoms up.
And also, I have creatine in my protein shake, so replenish those storages.
How you just gon' blame me? I ain't fine with that. Thinking about you daily, smoking crazy while I'm off the tag.
Into the alien cave we go.
Alright, so my after gym snack was a 1 protein bar. Has 210 calories, 23 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein, 7 grams of fat.
So just did a little quick meal prep, guys. I got my muscle mac ready. Oh yeah, this stuff is bomb high protein mac and cheese. I got some seasoned steak, and then I got some seasoned chicken, and then my own little seasoned spinach. I put garlic and herb on this, and it's actually really good. And then when I put these into meals, I'll weigh out and measure everything so I can lock it into MyFitnessPal.
Alright, so now I'm just chopping up stuff to put in omelets. Probably do like 6 egg omelets. I like to do my grocery shops like every 4 days, so I just get like 2 dozen eggs. So that's 6 egg omelets every day. I've got some red pepper in here, add some spinach, and then I'm gonna chop up these mushrooms next. I've got my vegetables prepped. This will be like a couple days worth of omelets, 2 dozen eggs, and I'll probably just throw some pre-made guacamole on top, and it'll be nice, dense, caloric omelet for the bulk. Alright, there it is, 6 egg omelet with veggies topped with 3 cheese blend and avocado. I just finished that massive omelet, which really helped my macros out a lot. It was super low carbs. Basically the only carbs in that were like the vegetables I put in, so it was 11 grams of carbs, 48 grams of protein, and 47 grams of fat added to the day.
Alright guys, so here's my next meal. We got 1 serving of muscle mac, 1 piece of seasoned steak, 1/3 of a cup of seasoned spinach, and then 4 ounces of seasoned chicken tips. And then I'll add 2 tablespoons of ketchup for the chicken. I freaking love my ketchup, guys. So this whole meal is 846 calories, 72 grams of carbs, 64 grams of protein, 34 grams of fat.
So I just got pre-marinated pesto chicken. I figured this will go well with a lot of stuff, so I'm just gonna cut it open. Toss it in the oven at 400 degrees for probably like 20 minutes. Lay it out nice and flat. This is like 1.5 pounds. And set my timer now for like 25 minutes. And we'll check on it then. And of course, always use a thermometer to make sure that your chicken is the right temperature. You don't want undercooked meats.
Alright, so here's just some pesto chicken and broccoli. This is about 330 calories. For the macro splits, it's about 54 grams of protein, 7 grams of fat, and 10 grams of carbs.
Now here's just a quick snack with 1 Night Food cookies and cream bar. Now I actually have stock in this company, guys. It's really good stuff. You should definitely check it out. Then I mixed 1 1/4 cup of my vanilla Greek yogurt in. It's 352 calories total, 34 grams of protein, 52 grams of carbs, and 4 grams of fat. If you've never added any kind of protein or normal kind of bar into your yogurt before, it adds a whole nother crunchy level and just adds to that flavory goodness. You should definitely give it a try.
Quick little snack before I head over to study. Raisin bagel with some banana and some peanut butter. So this snack right here has 57 grams of carbs, 17 grams of fat, and 13.5 grams of protein.
So last rather large meal of the day, guys, we got 12 ounces of marinated chicken and then 1/3 cup of spinach. And I'll have 2 cups worth of this Diet Cran cherry juice. If you guys never had this brand of juice, there's a ton of flavors and they're all actually really good. Only 5 calories and only 1 gram of sugar. I do recommend this if you love juice and are staying low on the calories. And this meal is going to be 535 calories, and the macros are 56 grams of protein, only 23 grams of carbs, and 26 grams of fat.
Alright guys, so here's my ground beef, some rice, some peppers, and broccoli on the side, lightly salted. And this comes out to 38 grams of protein, 54 grams of fat, and 84 grams of carbs.
And then guys, I'm ending my night with 2 scoops of protein and 1 cup of vanilla almond milk. That comes out to 290 calories total, 51 grams of protein, 9 grams of carbohydrates, and only 6 grams of fat.
Alright, so the last thing I'm eating today is just 1 scoop of casein protein. With this, I pretty much hit my macros for protein. I'm like 15 to 16 under, which is about as close as I've gotten recently, so that's pretty good. Just for kind of an overview or rundown for my day of eating, pretty much nailed my calorie goal, 3,400. That was pretty easy. In terms of my macros, I ended up getting like 250 grams of protein, which is pretty close. Aiming to get like 270 grams. That was pretty good. My carbs were a little high. They were a little over 300 grams. I'm not too worried about that. I'm fine with getting a lot of carbs. Going forward, I can definitely try to add a little bit more protein in my diet, try to reduce the carbs a little bit, but I'm actually pretty happy with how today's macro split went.
Alright, let's do a little recap of my day for the cut. I was 52 calories short of my total goal for the day. My macro split ended up being 34% carbs, which is 239 grams out of my goal of 242 grams. 37% protein, which is 253 grams out of my goal of 277 grams. And 29% fat, which is 91 grams, which is over my goal of 77 grams total. Overall, I'm relatively happy with this. Obviously, I got room for improvement, but like I said in the beginning, at first, I'm really gonna focus on making sure I'm getting close enough to my caloric goal, and then I'll improve getting close enough to my macro goals over time. Even though they weren't that far off, I was a little high on fats, my carbs were actually just around where they were supposed to be, and my proteins were a little low. I'm gonna go searching for some snacks that are high protein, low in carb, and hopefully low in fat too. I do not want to rely on protein shakes. I had 3 protein shakes today. I want to get my protein via food. That is something I'm definitely gonna work on improving. But overall, this was a great first week. I was within 50 calories on my caloric goal every single day, or right at it. I just gotta keep working on improving my macros over the course of this process, but that's why I'm making sure I'm tracking everything to ensure I'm going in the right goal direction, even if they're not exactly how I want them to be. So I'll make adjustments next week, and thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button for me. Click that notification bell so you never miss a new video upload for me. This series, guys, is gonna be so intense, and I'm so happy I can have you guys following along and supporting me along the journey, so I hope it motivates you guys too. Peace, aliens.
Together we got power. That's just rapping.